Today we will be in Brooklyn, New York, where a family of four lives were forever changed after a confrontation turned very ugly. What took place on the 1000 block of Bronx-New Expressway was not only appalling but disturbing in so many ways. The incident, which played out on a November day in 2024, turned into a crime scene very quickly after tempers flared and two people could not control their actions, leaving a mother and her two daughters broken for a lifetime after a husband and father were unalive in the worst way. A mother of two little girls has to now raise her kids without their loving father and protector after he was tragically taken from this world on November 30th, 2024. The couple, 30-year-old Kristopher Samaroo and 31-year-old Brittany Thomas, who were going to be married, truly had a beautiful relationship together, and loved ones say from the moment they met, Chris' life's purpose changed forever. Growing up, Chris was the only male in his household, with his mother and two sisters. His sister said that it was all four of them against the world. However, life was not easy, and he had his share of trauma and pain, but he still managed to have a pure heart of gold. He was described as a person that was so reserved, yet so impactful to the people surrounding him. Through difficult ups and downs, he was the youngest and still the only man in the house coming up. Being raised with all females, he took on traits that made him very empathetic, but he hid them from a lot of people behind his shy demeanor. The positive traits that he learned early on translated into his relationship with Brittany, and he made a vow to always protect and honor her and their two children. He was her Prince Charming, and she was his queen. The pair had their first daughter September 28, 2022, and being a father came natural to Chris. His little girl truly showed him what unconditional love was and helped him heal from some past trauma, according to his sister. Brittany wrote on his first Father's Day, "You're the type of father that knows what your baby needs, and you get it before I even have to open my mouth. You've captured the hearts of me and your daughter. Your bond is truly amazing to watch, and like ours, it only continues to grow. Without any doubt or question, I know you will forever raise our princess into a queen. I love you, Poppy." The couple went on to have another daughter on May 29, 2024, and again, Chris' heart was overflowing with love, now for two sweet souls. Chris was dedicated, hardworking, and hands-on, and only wanted to give the family he created a good life. However, in recent months, things at their home were not as they should have been. According to Brittany, the home that they stayed in was being managed by a man who wasn't up to code with keeping the building in working order. The couple had moved into the building in 2022, and for the past 3 months, they have not had any working hot water. According to the NYC Department of Housing Preservation and Development, it showed that 67 complaints have been filed against the property, and 17 violations were found since the beginning of 2023. On November 30th, around 6 p.m., the NYPD responded to a 911 call about an attack on a person in the 1000 block of Bronx-New Expressway. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders said they found an adult male, later identified as Chris, suffering from severe bodily trauma. Emergency personnel would rush him to the nearby Jacob Medical Center for treatment, and sadly he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced unalive shortly after arriving. The initial report stated that Chris and his landlord, 43-year-old Omar Lamoni, had been having a dispute over rent money when things turned fatal. The landlord's brother, 39-year-old Edwin Nina, was also in the mix and allegedly initiated a physical altercation by hitting Chris with a closed fist while he was holding his 6-month-old daughter Camila, who was just shy of getting hit. Chris was reportedly able to give the baby to his fiancée Brittany, as Omar allegedly joined his brother in the attack on Chris. Additionally, authorities stated that at some point during the altercation, Edwin used a metal bat to repeatedly strike Chris. When the video was played in court of what happened, it showed Edwin reaching in the back of his truck, pulling out a baseball bat, running back up the stairs of the building, and swinging on Chris. The video also showed a continuously escalating series of fights between the landlord, his brother, and the couple for more than 12 minutes, ending with Chris collapsing on the steps of his building before he could make it inside. After the horrible crime, law officials said both men are being charged with bodily harm, but homicide charges may be in line after the autopsy is complete. Even with the video evidence, both men pled not guilty in court, and the lawyer stated that the two brothers were the ones being taunted. Their lawyer reportedly told the courts that Chris and his fiancée had been bothering his clients, specifically taunting the duo about a third brother who was reportedly unalive in prison. The lawyer further claimed that the couple had been evicted in September but refused to leave. Brittany, however, had a different story. Because of the issues with the building and not having hot water for the past 3 months, the landlord was only taking partial payments for rent. Despite that, the landlord said that was not the case and that the matter was already being taken up through the court system. Following their arrest, the landlord Omar was given supervised release while his brother Edwin posted a $10,000 cash bond. As conditions of their release, the brothers are prohibited from having any contact with Brittany.
2-year-old Kalia and 6-month-old Camila are now without their father.
It was really senseless. My girls don't deserve not to have a father.
Brittany Shears says her fiancé, Kristopher Samaroo, got into a fight with their landlord's brother last night. Police sources say the 30-year-old was with a baseball bat at his home on Throgs Neck Expressway near Layton Avenue. Police say he was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced.
He goes straight to the trunk of his car, grabs a steel bat, and runs up my steps to the front of my house and starts wailing on my husband. From there, my husband jumps on him. They fall down here onto the ground.
She says the landlord then jumped in to attack Samaroo. Brittany tells us the argument was about rent money.
They keep saying that we're not paying rent at the moment, but that's further from the truth. He accepts partial payment for rent.
She claims the family hasn't had hot water in 3 months. The property had at least 67 complaints and 17 violations in the past 2 years, several related to hot water, according to HPD.
Two men, Omar Lamoni and his half-brother Edwin Nina, are facing charges in connection with the of Kristopher Samaroo. Today, Judge Deron Brown reviewed surveillance footage with attorneys where prosecutors say Edwin Nina was seen with a metal bat in that fight. Omar Lamoni was later released under supervision, while Nina had a bail set for $10,000. Now, a full order of protection was issued for Samaroo's fiancée, Brittany Shears. Meanwhile, the family of the defendants appeared in court for both Lamoni and Nina. They claim that this had nothing to do with a rent dispute, as that matter is already making its way through housing court. The cause of death for Samaroo is still being investigated.
Chris wanted nothing more than to be a great father and surround his girls with an abundance of love. He would have gone above and beyond to provide and protect for his family. None of his loved ones have ever foresaw his life being snatched away in the way that it was. Chris' life was taken in front of his partner and his small child and should have never happened. Nothing will ever replace him as the loving person he was and his tender heart. Sadly, his kids won't even get to witness the love that he wanted so desperately to give them as they get older, and it's tragic. Though he will always be alive in their hearts, nothing can change what was already done. Time can heal wounds, but some wounds are indefinite, especially when it's joined to someone so inspirational to so many. My thoughts and prayers go out to his queen and his little princesses for their loss, and I hope that they'll get full justice sooner than later. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and that they get justice soon. And also hit that like button and share to keep your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.